Hello, welcome back. Good evening. Welcome everybody to the Football Terrace. Sorry about the delay in going live this evening. Absolute nightmares getting home on the trains this evening, but we were recording episode 2 of the Football Terrace show with Neeks, Adam, and a few surprise and new guests as well. Really interesting news over the course of the past 2 to 3 hours has broke across the continent, and we're going to delve into that. Of course, it involves Manchester United. It wouldn't be the 2019 summer transfer window without it involving Manchester United Football Club, and of course Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspur, out of nowhere, are looking to smash club records, smash their salary structure, and absolutely destroy and own this window. They really, really are. We're going to delve into that in a little bit more detail for you. We're going to go through the stories, but more importantly, we're going to gauge your viewpoints and opinions. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think about these potential deals, how it's going to impact the Premier League, what it will do for Tottenham Hotspur, both from a positive and a negative standpoint. Equally, Manchester United. Two of their major summer targets could be at Tottenham Hotspur in the next 24 to 48 hours. Before we go any further though, please do us a big favour. Smash that like button. Please hit the share button as well. They are the very best ways that you can support us here. And a big shout out as well to our title sponsors, the Football Index. If you want to get involved in the football stock market, download the app with our promo code Football Terrace. Our exclusive link is in our description below. Get it downloaded. You have to be over the age of 18 and start buying your shares in players. Mindstorm here says, laughable that Dybala has gone to Spurs. And that is where we'll start. We'll start with the big piece of news. That Tottenham Hotspur have agreed a transfer fee. The transfer is agreed between Juventus and Tottenham for the signing of the world-class Argentinian international that is Paulo Dybala. That has been confirmed to us by Damasio. We know that the agent of Dybala has been in the UK for a number of days. He's been over here for the majority of last week, and now Tottenham have made a formal bid for him. As a super chat we'll jump straight into here from Jin, who says, I can't believe this. 15 years ago, United would have laughed at the players snubbing us and going to Spurs. Depressing, Terry. Very depressing. And listen, I say this with the utmost respect to Tottenham. This is absolutely shocking. And it isn't shocking in this small, minute deal. It demonstrates what the Glazers and demonstrates what Ed Woodward and his bunch of merry men have done to the club over the past 6 years. How they have eroded the power, the strength, the prowess, the quality this club has got. Of course, we can still attract really good players. Of course, we've made very good signings this summer. But the growth of teams like Tottenham, the growth of teams like Manchester City, they have forget history and forget heritage for a moment. As it stands right now, they have eclipsed Manchester United. They can attract the bigger and better players, and I think this is almost proof in the pudding. Look, when it comes to Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire, before anyone throws it out, they grew up as Man United fans. They grew up dreaming of playing for the club. They're a different kettle of fish, they really are. But Damasio has confirmed this. And look, Spurs fans as well, that Man United fans tuning in, we will interact with you, of course we will. But Tottenham Hotspur, how are you feeling right now? You could be about to sign an absolute world-class star to come into your team and play behind Harry Kane. And you've got Dele Alli and Son surrounding that. What an absolute powerhouse Tottenham Hotspur could be. For me, if they pull this deal off, they can challenge for the Premier League title. Absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. Absolutely none. There's a comment here actually about Spurs from Leonard, who says, now Spurs are acting like a big club. This is true. This is a big club move. This is a big club moment. For Tottenham Hotspur to go after a player of this calibre, bid £70 million, which I think will be a club record for them. Equally, the man's going to be on over 300 grand a week. They are going to destroy and smash their wage structure. This salary structure, this wage structure that's been in place, that's been very tippy-tappy. The other players have looked to leave in the past because the money isn't there. They can earn better money elsewhere. They believe that although Spurs created a really good team, there was never going to be the opportunities to go on and win major trophies. They've got that beautiful new stadium, Champions League finalists. They've signed one of the best up-and-coming central midfielders in the world in Ndombele. And it looks as though they're going to sign another top-class player in Dybala. They're going to smash the wage structure. Spurs are going for it. Spurs are trying to become a great club, and they're doing it the right way. They're doing it the right way. Brandon here says Dybala is a Christian Eriksen replacement. He may very well be, but what a great replacement. I would argue a better player than Christian. And Christian Eriksen's brilliant. Christian Eriksen is an amazing player. Dybala, for me, is the next level up. And Eriksen's not going to sign a new deal. Yes. Forget net spend for a minute. They're making profits. They're making profit, Spurs. That's the real net spend here. Moving on slightly from this, we'll come back to it in a moment. Manchester United are involved in this deal. They're not involved in the Dybala deal. That's been confirmed as dead. Fabrizio Romano has come out today and confirmed that. A comment here says, I'm just in shock. No disrespect, if you said you're just in shock. Who do you support and why are you in shock? Please tell me. I want to be educated on that. Manchester United are now heavily linked with a move for Christian Eriksen. And I'm buzzing about that. I think Christian Eriksen is an amazing player. He will improve Man United. He will create opportunities for Rashi and Martial and Greenwood to put away and to score from. I really, really, really will be happy with him. I would prefer Bruno Fernandes, but I'd be happy with Christian Eriksen. Many journalists, some credible, some I haven't even heard of, have spoken about the fact Man United have been making grounds on this deal. They've had conversations with Tottenham Hotspur, some suggesting and going as far as to say the Christian Eriksen move is nearly done. And then when you look at what Spurs are trying to do, they're trying to complete a deal for Lo Celso or Bruno Fernandes, and now go after Dybala in the last 2 days of the window. It is highly likely, in my opinion, they're going to have to try and raise some funds and, of course, more importantly, remove the huge wages that Christian Eriksen is on from their wage bill and look ahead to the future. Ideally, Daniel Levy would not want to sell Christian Eriksen, to a Premier League club. But as The Independent reported earlier on today, if they don't sell him to Man United and nobody else comes in for him, Real Madrid are unlikely to. Paris Saint-Germain have gone quiet on the idea. There's no room for him, in my view, and many people's view, somewhere like Juve. There's slim options out there for him. And if Spurs don't sell him, they may miss out on Dybala or Bruno Fernandes, as an example, and he goes for free next year. I think they would rather raise, it seems that some believe, and I agree with them, they would rather raise 40, 50 million pounds for the player now, remove his wages, wipe their mouths, and settle for something new. But I want to gauge that opinion now to Man United fans. No Bruno Fernandes, no Dybala, no Savic, but Christian Eriksen, 27-year-old, Premier League proven, tip-top quality player Christian Eriksen. Add that to what Man United have already done this transfer window. Tell me how you're feeling about that. And there's a comment straight away there from True Inspiration. Interestingly, says True Inspiration says I'm depressed, Terry, as a Man United fan. I get that. I get that feeling. And then you've also followed that up by saying that Christian Eriksen is a Tottenham cast-off. I think that's a very disrespectful way to look at it in relation to Christian Eriksen. Kyle Walker is not a Tottenham cast-off. Christian Eriksen wants to leave for the same reasons. And we've spoke about this a number of times on this channel. And a lot of Spurs fans have confirmed the same thoughts, same feelings. That if Tottenham don't elevate themselves to a level where they're winning major trophies, or winning any trophies, the likelihood is that some of the squad that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years under Poch would want to move on. They'd want to try and either earn bigger and better money elsewhere or go to a club they think has an opportunity to win major trophies. And although someone will laugh and say, well, Spurs are ahead of Manchester United, this is the new season. United have already got 3 very good new players in. Eriksen would add to a fourth. There's great youngsters coming through. If he's sold on the idea, if he's sold on the project and the direction Man United are going in, one, he'll be compensated and paid more money at the football club, which will be a slight motivation, and it should be for all professionals. But equally, we spoke about this with other players looking at the club. There are multiple factors as to why Man United are still an attractive option for people. There is also another train of thought. Forget winning trophies. Forget going to a club with wonderful heritage and like Man United, or a huge club that's looking to rebuild and wanting to be part of that to kind of cement your name into legendary status at that club. Forget all of that for a moment. Eriksen just might need a change. Eriksen isn't past his best. Eriksen isn't. I've seen a few salty Spurs accounts today putting out some negative statistics. I think something like some Spurs account put out a stat saying that 64% of Christian Eriksen's corners don't beat the first man. As if to say that makes him rubbish. I'm just thinking, well, don't put him on corners then, and you're all right, aren't you? Equally, of the remaining percentage that do beat the first man, how many did Spurs score from? Because actually, I was reading some weird percentage that was like less than 8% of corners lead to a goal. So they're very. That's why some teams, and I swear Pep used to do this for a while, they barely whip a ball into the box because statistically, the chance of scoring from it is so slim and so low. Kevin here says, love the show, Terry, but the Muppets commenting blow my mind. I don't read the comments as intensely as you do due to the fact that I'm talking and thinking at the same time. But look, everybody's entitled to an opinion. We'll go through some more of them in a minute. Thoughts on Coutinho to Arsenal? Yeah. Wow. If Arsenal pull off Coutinho, that will be absolutely phenomenal. There's a comment here I do want to read because I think it's a good one. From Ross, who says, the EPL proven tag is somewhat overrated. In my opinion, did Messi, Neymar, Xavi, Iniesta, PK still have something to prove because they weren't in the Premier League? I doubt it. No, nobody's saying that PK or Messi have something to prove because they didn't play here. The same as Pele and Maradona don't have anything to prove. The same as future players. If Mbappe doesn't ever play in England, that doesn't mean he isn't a top-class player. We've seen him do it at the World Cup. The tag Premier League proven is nothing to do with you being regarded as a world-class player. It's what you talk about when you're signing a player from a foreign league and bringing them to the UK. And the question is, will they be able to adapt and play in the Premier League? There have been players that have flopped in the Premier League and done brilliantly on the continent. And you could almost argue the same in other directions. And I'm sure that Spanish viewers and Italian viewers can think of players that haven't quite made it. Example would be this. My understanding was, although he was still very young, Thierry Henry wasn't setting the world alight when he was playing in Italy. He moves to Arsenal and becomes one of the greatest players in the world. Arguably the greatest player the Premier League has ever seen. Some would argue the greatest player English football has ever had the privilege of watching and seeing him grace the field each week. There have been plenty of English players who have been brilliant here and gone to play in Spain, gone to play in Italy and flopped. So the point around being Premier League proven is this. With Christian Eriksen, you know that there is a much slimmer chance of him flopping if he moves to Man United or if he moves to Liverpool than there is bringing in somebody of equal quality from abroad. And I think it's a fair breakdown to throw out there. Hello, Terry. When are you gonna come to Africa? We love your show. That's from Afro TV. Man, I'd love to come. I mean, obviously, it's a bold statement by yourself, like in terms of a question, really, because Africa is a continent and it's a big place. And there are definitely some countries I'd love to visit for multiple reasons. South Africa, I haven't been to. I'd love to go there. Kenya, I'd really like to go to. And I'm sure you guys. And I'm sure there are beautiful parts of loads of countries that I'm not even aware of. The one thing about England is that a lot of the images we get projected upon us about African countries is often quite negative about the poor aspects and things like that. So yeah, one day I will definitely do that. Someone here says, Sanchez was Premier League proven, went to United and look what happened. Yeah, absolutely. But hang on, Shane. You're taking one example. There are always exceptions to the rule. There are always exceptions to the rule. And of course, there's no guarantee that a player moving from one Premier League club to another is going to work because there is a changing system, there is a changing manager, a changing atmosphere. We know this. We know this. Billy T throws in Torres, absolutely. There are lots of examples where it doesn't work. But there are multiple factors as to why it may not work when a player hasn't even lived in England before. Because not only are you changing club, manager, tactics, atmosphere, all the same things as players moving internally within the Premier League, but you're also emigrating. You're living in a new country, a new part of the world. You've got to develop a new culture. You might need to learn a new language. It may be a different pace of a league. There are so many more factors. So it's seen as less of a risk for a La Liga club to buy players that have already played in La Liga. It's less of a risk for English clubs to buy players that have already played in England. To disregard that as having no logic, and you've said that by saying it makes no sense, I think is either deliberately obtuse and disingenuous, or you're really not thinking about it hard enough, and you should. You really should think about it a little bit harder. Can Spurs afford the wages and agent fees for Dybala? Well, that's a real good question there, Billy T, and I wanted to jump into that. Before we do so, though, please, there's 2,000 people tuning in, one of the biggest streams of the summer for us. Please do me a big, big favour and hit the like button. Please hit that share button as well. Let's just try and get this stream to over 3,000 live concurrent viewers. If you all share this on your timelines, if you all hit that like button for me right now, I know we're going to do that. And a big shout out again to our title sponsors, the Football Index. Please get that app downloaded. Our exclusive link and promo code is in our description below. There, Broads TV, what's happening, bro? Thank you very much for that nice comment. By the way, everyone who's watching, look at the comments there. You'll see Broads TV. That's one of the best strikers involved in Blood Brother this year. Go follow his channel, give him a bit of a boost as well, please. Can Spurs afford him? Spurs have the money. Yes, they can. Again, I'm not going to get into the technical detail of it because it isn't my area of expertise. But I believe they have the cash within the organisation and the money sitting there, in their coffers to inject a bigger transfer and bigger wage structure budget in place. I believe they can afford it. The risk they run by paying Dybala the £300,000 a year, the sort of 10 to 11 million pound a year that he asked for at Manchester United, is the ripple effect that has around the squad. Because it won't be long until Harry Kane's knocking on that door, especially if he continues to score 30 plus goals a season, which many, many, many believe he will. He's going to want more money. That's another £150,000 a week for him, which is millions. Dele Alli will come knocking. Son will come knocking. After a couple of good years, Ndombele will knock. Vertonghen may knock. You are going to continue to have this. And when Spurs then go after other big players, so let's say next summer, Spurs go for Sancho. Let's just say they go for Sancho. I'm throwing this out there as an example. They go after Sancho. What's going to happen then? He's going to go, hang on a minute though. This is what I've done 2 years running in the Liga. This is what all your other top players are earning. This is what Dybala got paid. This is what Ndombele is being paid. It's what Harry Kane's on. I'm currently this, I'm currently that. I want big money too. So suddenly, it becomes more difficult to sign big players because everybody's demanding more money. So it opens up a whole new can of worms for Tottenham and for Maurizio Pochettino to handle. However, if they handle it correctly, and I'm not qualified to do it, but they need to go and find the right people to handle it from a financial standpoint and controlling that dressing room, then it's how you become a giant club in this modern day era. You need the right ethos, you need the right management, you need the right power in the relative departments of the organisation and the football club. And then on top of that, you've got to spend money. You have to spend money. Simple and as straightforward as that. And if you notice, if Spurs do this as well, it was great for all those years to celebrate getting Dele Alli for 4 million and Harry Kane's one of our own. But if you want to keep pushing on through those levels, you spend money. Liverpool did it. Spurs are now going to have to do the same thing. Jay here says, so Dybala and Bruno to Spurs and we're left with Spurs' slippery seconds in Eriksen. Is that right? See, That's a very negative way of looking at this. You do realise that Tottenham have tried vigorously to get Christian Eriksen to sign a new deal and he's refusing to. A reject would be, yeah, we don't want him. Because if you're gonna be really kind of to the point on these things and maybe over focus on them, Dybala's the reject in this, because Bruno Fernandes is wanted by Sporting Lisbon, but he wants to move away. Eriksen is wanted by his club, but he wants to move away. The only player in this little love triangle that doesn't want to move and wants to remain at the current club he is at is Dybala. But Juve don't want him. Now, I think Dybala is amazing. I'm not calling him a reject. That isn't how I act and how I behave. I'm a bit more grown up than that. But your real negative viewpoint on this deal from Man United's perspective is crazy. However, what I would also point out to everybody is, you're allowed to be disappointed. Of course you are. You're right. But like I always talk about, let's see what happens. Let's get behind the decisions and the process that we've gone through. Let's go, right, fine, great. We didn't get who we want. I didn't get who I wanted as an individual. But we've got 4 new players in. We've definitely improved our squad. Let us see what happens. Because if come Christmas, Eriksen's tearing it up, we're barely conceding goals, we're scoring, we're sitting 3rd in the league, the football's great, and we're moving forward, not one single person with an ounce of humility and a brain cell or two would be disappointed with the summer's transfer window. However, we're sitting 6th and we're struggling, and Spurs are 1 point off the top of the league, and Bruno Fernandes and Dybala are killing it, then we've made the wrong decision. And it's, look, we can all sit there and make 1,000 predictions, quote, screenshot them all, and then when certain ones come to fruition and come true, repost those and tell everybody that you're basically Nostradamus. When in fact, you're just playing an odds game. Nobody knows whether it's the right decision or not. All we can do is wait and see. And that's what should happen. But what people don't need to consistently do is moan, be consistently negative, be consistently downbeat, consistently throw out hypothesis and theory as factual information, saying that Bruno Fernandes to Spurs and Eriksen to Man United is a better deal for Tottenham. It's an opinion and you're entitled to it, but all this is facts. It's not a fact. We'll find out in a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years if it was a fact. Who wins the most, who performs the best, etc. Only sign players who have a hunger for United. Dybala can't come in with a superstar mindset. He's not bigger than the club. Listen, I agree with that completely. I said it at the start of the summer. It's what a lot of my videos are based on. And a lot of people recently, for instance, spoke about Harry Maguire. Oh, why did he turn? No way would he turn down Man City for Man United. Well, he did, and his own mother has come out and tweeted and made us all understand why. Because he grew up as a young child, desperate to play for Man United. So that's why when Manchester City offered £70 million plus Otamendi, Leicester rejected that, by the way, because they didn't believe it met their valuation. That says a lot about Otamendi. But Maguire told them, no, I won't come. So they walked away. They walked away. But not everybody's going to be like Maguire and have a burning desire from when they were a child to play for Man United or any other club, respectively. Sometimes it's about wanting to be part of that project, wanting to move forward together. And if Dybala doesn't want that at Man United, then he shouldn't come. And it shouldn't infuriate you. Not about that individual decision. Focus on the Glazers, focus on Woodward, focus on the fact that we've fallen so far from grace and that's why he doesn't want to come here. But as the individual kind of signing, yes, it may be the catalyst to why you're angry, but I wouldn't overly focus on it if I was you. Got another super chat to jump into here. I will be amazed if Dybala goes to Spurs, as they will never break their wage structure. As a Man United fan, I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed so far. Do you know what, Alec Martin? Look, the Spurs wage structure thing, I think it's a fair shout. There's a lot of Tottenham fans I've spoken to today that have said the same type of thing. On being disappointed about Man United, we addressed the 2 biggest key areas that I wanted to see addressed, which were centre back and right back. So I'm really happy about that and who's come in. we will concede 20 less goals in the Premier League this forthcoming season. And that alone by itself will be enough to propel Manchester United into the top four, I believe. Do we need more creativity in midfield? Yes. Is Christian Eriksen my personal first choice? No, but would he improve us? Absolutely. Another super chat's just come in here from Saeed Ali. It says, Terry, if we were on the Champions League, every player could join us, but unlikely not to happen. Listen, we had Champions League football last summer and couldn't land all of our targets. We have had Champions League in the past 6 years and not landed all the players that our fans wanted. So that for me wouldn't be the outright reason for any of those types of things. By the way, everybody tuning in, we can get this well over 500 likes by the time we finish. Please hit the button. Please hit the share button as well. Terry, are you interested in Fantasy Premier League? No. I literally have no desire to do the Fantasy League stuff. I'm going to be doing the Football Index this year, not a Fantasy League. I actually want to make money. If I'm going to sit there and predict who the best players are going to be, I'm going to do that by buying shares in those individuals and increasing the money that I place into the app. So I'm using the Football Index. You can do that as well. The link is in our description below to get that downloaded. Yeah. When everybody else is celebrating that they're like in 100th place and they've got the most amount of points in their mini league, I'm going to be sitting there celebrating, making loads and loads of money. That's what I spend my time doing. This is from Chloe Jenkins. Hello, Chloe, who says, clubs agreeing a fee means nothing unless the player wants it. Chloe, that's a really, really good point. As I said at the top of the video, and I will reiterate again, Juve and Tottenham have agreed a £70 million deal, according to Damasio. Dybala is still yet to say yes to this move. However, we hit Wednesday tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a mad day for me because early tomorrow morning I'm flying to Dublin. So I'm going to be in Dublin, breaking news to you. And then Thursday, my diary's blocked out from when I get up at like 6 a.m. until I go to sleep at like midnight. I am just going to be on it. Story. I don't know how many times we're going to live stream on Thursday. I bet we end up live streaming about 8-9 times. I bet we do. Let's do a few more of these comments here. Eriksen and Ben Yedder, Terry. That's from Claire Bayliss. Is that something that's happened? Is that something that's going to happen? I haven't seen anything in relation to Ben Yedder for a while now. Is this trending somewhere? Because I don't know. Is this trending? Let me put in Ben Yedder. I'm going to search Ben Yedder and see what man is saying about that. Is that reared its head? Not really. There's nothing on there that's like now. So, okay. So someone just putting it out there. Few people asking here for a recap. We will give you a little recap. We just gave you one a moment ago. But Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, have agreed a transfer fee with Juventus for Dybala of around £70 million. And many media outlets are reporting that United, and it ranges, have gone from initial talks with Tottenham to being very close to agreeing a £50 million deal to bring Christian Eriksen from North London Tottenham to Manchester United. And we want your views, your thoughts, and your opinions on them. Another super chat here from Alec Martin. I'll read that out to you if I can get it up on my screen. It says, I'm glad we have improved the defence. Just worried about our creativity. Love your positivity, though. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Alec. I appreciate that. Look, I'm remaining positive because I can't tell the future. I'm remaining positive because although I want to see the improvements, let's see what happens with other. What I don't like to do is just, I think that when you're negative, you dig yourself such a rut and such a hole that it's almost impossible to get yourself out of it. And it's exacerbated by the echo chambers of which we live in when it comes to sport. And I'll tell you something about echo chambers. So I had a caller phone the show on Sunday, and basically a Liverpool fan, and basically made a really good point, I thought, that because of some of the defensive inefficiencies of Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then in turn some defensive inefficiencies in the centre-back who plays on the right-hand side, whether that be Matip or whether it be Gomez, it could be the difference between Liverpool winning the Premier League or not. He articulated it well, didn't slag anybody off, wasn't horrible, said that Trent would improve, just said he feels that could be a weakness for them in this season. We posted a video, and the video's title was "Will Trent Alexander-Arnold cost Liverpool a Premier League title?" Which I still think is a fair question. And of course, our questions are meant to be ever so slightly provocative. We want to generate conversation. But the individual has been absolutely abused by Liverpool fans all week. I've read the comments. I cannot believe how other Liverpool fans have abused this guy. It's got to a point where YouTube have emailed me because this gentleman has put a complaint in to say he wants the videos removed. Basically saying that I've not been given the crux of the complaint yet. I've just gone back to them and said, look, everyone that phones our show knows that it's a live broadcast that's going to be probably republished as well as a single video by itself, and we will put their viewpoints and their opinions out there. No personal information is given, only their first name is ever used, and most people don't even give their real one there. But it demonstrated to me, YouTube will come back, they'll review it and say, no rules have been broken, let's carry on, because no rules were. But this shows to me what echo chambers are about. Because a Liverpool fan dare say something that the general consensus disagrees with, their little two bob mob has just attacked this guy to a point where he doesn't want to have his opinions on the internet anymore. And what I will probably do for him is make the videos private and remove them anyway if he is really feeling sort of vulnerable about them. So if you are listening, if you are watching this stream, mate, just reach out and we can come to an agreement between ourselves. But it demonstrates again and again and again sort of the horrible, toxic environment that's created within an echo chamber. They're disgusting and they never work. Got another couple of super chats here, actually. One from Mike Hill, who says, I find it very strange Juve want rid of Dybala. Yeah, a lot of people have said that recently. And Olafon says, I won't believe the board are satisfied with this midfield. An injured Pogba and we are ice thin, still hoping for a last-minute sign-in, but the clock is ticking. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that viewpoint. I understand everything that you're saying there, and I'm hoping they can pull something off. My first choice is Fernandes. I'd be really happy with Savic, but I would also be happy with Christian Eriksen. Terry, are you living in... I'm not telling you where I live. No, I don't live there, but I don't live far from there. How did you know that? That's weird, but no, I don't live there. I live near there. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but Spurs have Ndombele and Dybala, and Arsenal have Pepe and Coutinho signings. It makes me feel unwell. That's a Liverpool fan. Is that a Liverpool fan? That's a Liverpool fan who said that. I thought it was a Man United fan. Yeah, but look who you've got. You can't have them all. You can't have them all. You can't have all the best players. It's impossible. It's like absolutely impossible to do it. It's like you've got food envy. Like, I've ordered my food, I'm happy with it, but I'm looking at everybody else's plate and wishing I got all of it. If you get all of it, though, you're going to make yourself sick. It won't ever work. It'll never work. Listen, everybody who's tuned in, I appreciate it so very, very much. I really, really do. Look after yourselves. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.